everyone, happy Monday. We hope you had a good weekend. My name's Jillian, this is Emily, and we're here at the Whale Interpretive Center. We're here also on the traditional territory of the Kwakwaka'wakw First Nations, which we are very grateful to be on this land. So this week we're doing something a little bit different than we often do, as if you saw my video last week, you know that Jillian was away, so the editing was not good. You still did a decent job.
Thanks. Even though now Jillian is back, so our editing will be improved. This week we are going to do some safety videos, and there's a couple incidents in the cove. Nobody got hurt or anything, but just with some kind of realizing a gap in some people's knowledge around wild animal safety. So we just want to take a moment to go over bear safety, cougar safety, and then marine mammal, especially whale safety if you're in a boat. This obviously, if you're a hiker, is not so applicable, although I guess maybe a sea lion like walks up the trail or something.
Yeah, maybe.
But the targeted at boaters. And so yeah, we're just kind of go through those, and yeah,
Let's see how this goes.
yeah, we do have a special guest visiting us to help us out with this safety video, so hope you enjoy.
You may have heard recently about the humpback whale that got hit by a ferry. This is unfortunately more common than it should be. This is because a lot of people don't know how to recognize when a humpback may be in the area. It's really important when you're out on the water to be constantly scanning the water for blows. We use the phrase, see a blow, go slow. And what this means is when you see the big plume of air that shows that a humpback whale has just surfaced, it's very important to slow down and make sure that you and your passengers are operating in a safe manner. What this includes is moving a little slower and keeping an eye out and making sure that if the humpback whale is going to be in your path, or if you might be cutting in front of it, it's important to alter your course so that you can avoid a collision. Because humpback whales do not have echolocation and are often traveling alone, they may be less aware of boats, and it's hard to know when one might pop up.
And if one pops up unexpectedly, that can be huge damage to both you and your boat, let alone the whale.
Killer whales, who do have echolocation because they are a toothed whale, are less likely to be unaware that you're there. However, because killer whales often will travel in large groups spread over large amounts of water, it's important to be very, very aware of the animals around you. If you think you might just be leaving a group of killer whales, you may be driving right towards more, which can lead to collisions or prop damage to the whales, which is a very, very dangerous injury. And so it's important to just always be aware of your surroundings, always scanning, and if you see a blow, go slow.
Hey guys, so this is our terrifying bear. Can you shake? Oh, what a good girl. This is Greta, our borrowed chocolate lab, aka our test dog and test cougar, so that you can see what we need to do with a real animal. Come here, Greta. So let's get started. Okay, so we're here with our black bear skeleton, that if you saw my last video on adaptations of limbs, then you saw this guy up close as well. Look, he's smiling for the camera.
So photogenic.
And so we want to go over some bear safety. First of all, you should not be this close to a bear. Ever. That's point number one. So we're going to look at bear and cougar safety, and I'm going to kind of frame these in contrast of one another because they are a little bit different, and our special guest will help clear this up with some role playing here in a couple minutes. So with bears, prevention is key. Obviously, you want to be making lots of noise when you're walking. You want to be in a group preferably. You don't want to be coming, if you're jogging, don't jog around blind corners fast. Take the corner wide or slow down. Have a bear bell or something like that. The other thing, if you're camping, you want to store your food securely. You want to store it away from your tent, so if you mess up and there's a little bit of food left over and it attracts a bear, that it's not bringing them right to you. A dog is a good idea, but an off-leash dog the bear may chase the dog back to you, and the dog may come back to you for help, which is not what you want. So you want your pets on a leash. Mm-hmm. If you get into a scenario where you're up close, too close, like we are with a bear, You want to make sure that you are not making eye contact. And eye contact to a bear, if I'm looking right in the bear's eyes, is a challenge, is aggressive, and so you don't want to make eye contact. You want to make yourself really big. You want to, have big arms, but you want to speak firmly and calmly. You don't want to be screaming. High-pitched scream can also be perceived as aggressive, and you really don't want to run. Running can startle the bear into chasing you. So stay still, keep your arms up. If the bear stops approaching you, you can back up, but keep facing the bear, don't turn your back. So keep no eye contact, but still facing the direction of the bear. Stay big, calm, but loud voices, and just making sure the bear knows that you're not food. If the bear actually attacks you, it may think it's because you're hurting its territory, and if this is the case, then you want to play dead. But if the bear is actually trying to eat you, then you want to fight back. So if the bear charges you and kind of tackles you, that might be a charge, and playing dead shows that you're not a danger, and you're not trying to take its territory, and that you're submissive. And so you want to lay face down with your hands over the back of your neck. If the bear starts to eat you or look like it's trying to paw at you to eat you, then you want to fight back using rocks, sticks, punching, yelling.
Whatever you have at your
disposal. And so, not disposable. You're not disposable. Disposal. And so that it's really difficult to kind of judge that, but don't start aggressive, because generally if 1v1 with a bear, you're going to lose. So if you can kind of diplomatically back away, that's what you want to do. Keep in mind, bear attacks are really, really rare. And so as long as you're following prevention tips and, not trying to get too close to a bear, not leaving food out, not trying to approach cubs, anything like that, you should be fine. But we had an incident in Telegraph Cove where the group ran away screaming, literally, and that is the opposite of what you want to do on a number of ways. All right, let's move on to our cougar.
So if Emily and Greta down there are our test bear, and I come across them in the forest, this is what I'm supposed to do. So if I'm hiking along and I see a bear, and it's walking towards me, I'm going to stop, not make eye contact, and hold my ground, make myself big.
Now, if our test bear Greta comes towards Jillian, come here, Greta. Jillian needs to stand her ground. Even if Greta sniffs at her and looks at her, good girl, Greta, you're such a good girl.
I'm not going to make eye contact.
And bears find eye contact aggressive, so we don't want to, make Greta think that we're after her. So that's what you would do with a bear. So you need to make yourself big. If Greta is running at Jillian, come here, come. Jillian's still going to hold her ground. Never ever run from a bear or Greta. Because if you run from Greta, she can't lick you and give you kisses and shake your paw. And if you run from a bear, it may elicit a chase. As soon as if the bear walks towards you, make sure you hold your ground. Greta, can you sit? Good girl. But if the bear stops, you can walk backwards, facing the bear. But if the bear walks forward to you again, stop again. Sit. And keep going like this, maintaining space. So here with our cougar skeleton now.
Who needs a lot of help.
Who needs some help? He's up in bone storage.
Yeah.
Cougar attacks are even less common than bear attacks. They're very unusual. The main thing with cougar attacks is that you want them to know that you are not surprised by them. Because if you've ever had a cat, cats love to stealth hunt and then attack when they think you're not looking.
Cougars are the same.
Cougars are the same.
Really big, dangerous house cats.
Just big, dangerous house cats, absolutely. And so the attacks that they're most fond of is hiding in a bush and then waiting till you pass and then jumping up behind you. So same thing, making lots of noise. If you actually see a cougar, you want to make eye contact. And this is the opposite of the bear. Do not make eye contact with the bear. Make eye contact with the cougar. And that's, thank you, Jillian, for that intense eye contact. And that's the way of saying, I see you. You don't have the jump on me. You're not going to surprise me. Other than that, again, same thing. If the cougar attacks you, Cougars aren't as territorial as bears, and so the playing dead thing is not so applicable to a cougar. You want to fight back immediately. Generally, cougars are looking for an easy meal. They want to stealth hunt and kill the prey before it even really knows what hits them. So if you put up a fight, if you say, I'm not an easy meal, you're not going to appeal to a cougar. Keep in mind, cougars are the highest density in the world here on Vancouver Island, and we never see cougars. So that's how stealthy they are, but that's also how shy they are. They really aren't interested in humans like bears might be drawn by garbage. Cougars aren't like that, and so we really don't want to scare anybody by talking about these safety tips because it's really unlikely. The only thing that may happen is a young cougar may be kicked out of its mom's territory and might not know how to feed itself and may start preying on pets. So if you have cats that go out at night or anything like that, if there's a cougar in the area, we urge you not to do that because it can A, attract cougars, and B, put your pet's life on the line. And that's the same with young children. Don't let young children run ahead if you're hiking because young kids are obviously a smaller target, but their movements are more like animals. They're more erratic, they have a higher pitched voice, and it sparks the cougar's interest. And you know, because cougars are cats, and if you've ever drawn a string in front of a cat, it's important not to run. It's dangerous, and it's important not to run from cougars. So this time, Greta is going to be a cougar instead of a bear because cougar safety is really different than bear safety. So we're gonna go through that. Come here. Okay, come here. Good girl. Come here. Look this way. You gotta look this way for us. Good girl. So if this is our cougar, our very terrifying cougar, it's important that Jillian, again, maintains her position and looks big. So you want to look really big to make sure the cougar knows that you are not a snack. With cougars, it's so important that you don't run because that's going to elicit the chase instinct. And most of all, you want to make eye contact with our cougar. If our cougar will look the right way and look at our victim, come here, Miss Cougar. And so Jillian wants to make eye contact with Greta because that way that Greta knows that she sees her and that she's not a prey animal, she's not a snack. And so that's how you're going to avoid the cougar attack. Cougars are generally going to be hiding in bush, and so it's important to watch for that ambush. Make yourself big, make lots of noise, and make eye contact.
Greta, look at me. I am not prey. Make eye contact with me.
I think Greta's a better bear than she is a cougar.
She's doing her best. So thanks for tuning in, guys. We hope you enjoyed this week's video and our special guest. Stay safe out there and enjoy your time out in the wild.